All right. Contextual quarterback power rankings. Just let that sink into your bones for a second because it's always good for the soul.
No, we're close. We're just over 2 days away from the start of the NFL playoffs. 6 games over 3 days. And we're down to the final 13 games, Mark, in the National Football League.
Which is always so exciting and depressing at the same time.
It's funny because you and I had the same emotional reaction after Sunday where, like, man, what a regular season. That was awesome. And then, oh, no. We're down to 13 of these babies.
I know, and at least the playoffs stretch it out. They stretch it out so we've got at least 4 or 5 more Sundays and all that. But, we are staring down the barrel of nothing to do on the weekends here coming up pretty soon. I mean,
pitchers and catchers.
The NFL has the opposite of what every other sport has. Every other sport is like, man, this regular season's dragging butt all over the place. The NFL's the opposite. You get to week 18, you're like, how the hell we get here so fast? So
272 sweet, beautiful games.
So good.
Gone too soon.
Yeah. So, all right, let's go 14-1, back and forth. Here we go with our power rankings, 14 down to 1, contextual QB power rankings. That means we're not talking about the resume. We're not talking even necessarily about their individual gifts and talents. We're talking about which quarterback would you want in this situation this January, factor in their teammates, their injuries, their coaching, everything. I think it's sort of obvious where we start at number 14. Skylar Thompson is number 14 for me from the Miami Dolphins.
Complete agreement. And, I mean, this is no disrespect to any of the great Skylars out there because, I mean, how could you expect Skylar Thompson to be anything other than the 14th ranked QB? Tua Tagovailoa had a great year. He was hurt. He came back. He was hurt. He came back. He was hurt. He came back. And now he's hurt again. And your thoughts go out to him in terms of his NFL career. His NFL career is on the brink of not being a career based on these concussions. And then you look at Teddy Bridgewater, a guy who was so highly sought after. He was a starter, a benched, starter, benched, starter, benched, starter, benched, had a chance to be the starter again, and he got hurt. So he can't play. Skylar Thompson, best of luck. You're number 14.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, there are 3 teams who are playing their third quarterback this weekend, and one of them is not like the other 2. So let's obviously go to number 13, which is whoever the Baltimore Ravens decide to start this weekend, and it looks like it's trending toward their third QB, Anthony Brown.
And I've got him at 13 as well. Hundley's not going to play. And Lamar Jackson, if Baltimore goes with Anthony Brown and he plays like we all expect him to play, which is not great, how could you expect anything of him? Baltimore goes out and they lose by a score of, let's just say, 35-9. I mean, I don't know what happens with Baltimore. Lamar Jackson, you can't afford to not keep him, but I don't know how you do keep him when he openly doesn't want to play for you. Baltimore's gone from perennial threat to punchline based on their handling of Lamar Jackson.
All right, number 12, I'm going to shake your trees right now. I'm going to shake
Peter
your trees.
Gabriel,
Here we go.
the tree.
This is coming at you now. This is going to be a little 1-2 punch at you.
Little 2-piece.
Again, this is contextual. This is right now. This is what I see. This is team. This is home road. This is all of that. Number 12, Dak Prescott. My man, you led the league in interceptions and you missed a third of the year. And I'm watching you play football, and I bet Guru is out there listening right now, clapping his hands.
Lay off.
Because, no, I bet he agrees with me. Dak Prescott, right now, of all these quarterbacks playing, even some of the ones you didn't expect to be here, the Genos and the Danny Dimes, Dak Prescott right now does not look like even himself. He does not look like full strength. I don't like his decision-making. He's got to play everything on the road. There are those who have said Dallas is not the same team on grass. Guess where they're probably playing for the first handful of weeks? Grass, unless they end up in Philadelphia next week, which that's going to be a very, very difficult thing as well. For me, number 12 is Dak Prescott.
Yeah, I can't go there just yet. This is where you and I must separate in terms of being in lockstep, because I'm going with Geno Smith, and it's all context. Geno Smith, unbelievable first half. He was comeback player of the year and MVP at the same time, which is tough to do. Well, Geno Smith has come back down to earth like the famous Sputnik satellite that crashed into the ocean so many years ago. Geno Smith has come back to earth. They're in San Francisco, double-digit underdogs against the number one defense in the National Football League. I've got Geno Smith at number 12, Mark.
A very, very good pause by you. And I think very fair
Pausation
points.
Sensation.
Yeah, they're very fair points. I'm going to put Geno right over here, though, for a second, and let's go to number 11 for me.
Let's do it.
I'm going to go to Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones, for me, still has plenty to prove. This is a guy who's played a lot better than anyone expected him to this year. He does bring legs to the party. He got legs, and he knows how to use them. Okay? But this is not a dynamic offense. This is not somebody that terribly scares you when he drops back. Again, context, name a receiver for the Giants. I know, don't say Kenny Golladay.
I was about to. The high-paid Kenny Golladay.
Nobody cares about these weapons. Danny Dimes, like the Giants are going to just kind of slog you to death and maybe win 21-20. But for me, Daniel Jones is number 11 on the list.
I've also got him at number 11 for similar reasons, although I like Daniel Jones more than you do, but I look at the matchup with Minnesota, and we all want to look at the Vikings and dismiss them out of hand because of their plus-minus, their point differential. They won so many games by a narrow margin, including the win over the Giants, which was a 3-point victory. I look at Minnesota's offense, and I think that they're going to be too much to handle for the Giants' defense. Daniel Jones, I like Daniel Jones, but I do have him at number 11.
All right. Going on to number 10.
Number 10.
This is where I am going to put Geno Smith, and it's really just a nod to what he did in the first half of the season. Geno is a guy who's got sneaky gifts, right? Let's not forget that once upon a time he was a first-round draft pick, and he ended up with the Jets. So what are you going to do? You know, I mean, this is what happens to people who get drafted by the Jets a lot. So Geno's not great. He was not very good in the second half of the season, but he's a big guy. He's got a good arm. He can make some throws and use his legs to a degree if you leave the field open. So Geno Smith is not great, but in a vacuum or on one given Saturday, can he cause some problems to you with really good receivers? Yeah, he can. So for me, Geno Smith sits at number 10.
I don't hate that. I had him obviously lower because of the context, but for me, for number 10, I'm going to root against the home team. Trevor Lawrence is number 10. I said this to you before the playoff format even got rolled out. I like the Chargers' road to make it to the AFC Championship. It's a rocky road. They're going to beat the Jaguars. I think that Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they're favored by 2.5. They're a road.
Is it up to 2.5?
Yeah, they're a road favorite. Jags are a home dog. I told you at the start of the year back in August that I thought the Jaguars would win the division, and they did. Yep. Trevor Lawrence was good, and he has been. But in this matchup, I don't think that they beat the Chargers. So for context, I've got Trevor Lawrence at 10. I think they get knocked out.
Yeah, pretty similar spot for me. As we go to number 9, that's where I've got Trevor Lawrence. He's a guy that's got an upward bullet for sure. He now has a good coach. He has interesting weapons around him. They don't pop off the page, but that receiving core from Christian Kirk to Zay Jones, they're serviceable. I like Etienne in the backfield. It's a team that is underrated. If you look at their second half, they are a very, very good football team. He still misses some throws. He misses some throws that you shouldn't miss as a big-time NFL quarterback, but good enough for me to get into the top 10. Trevor Lawrence is my number 9.
For number 9, this is going to shock you. I'm going to the GOAT, Tom Brady.
Wow!
Number 9 is Tom Brady, and I believe that Dallas will win this game.
Don't be disrespectful.
I just was. Tom Brady, he's thrown the ball more ever than anyone in the history of the league. He's completed more passes than anyone in the history of the league, but this Tampa Bay team is a paper tiger. It's a paper kitty cat. It's a declawed house cat. Tampa Bay's in real trouble. I know Dak is not great on grass. The Cowboys are going to win this game. They may not win it on the back of Dak, but they've got an unbelievable running game. Tampa's defense has come really further down to the pack. I like Dallas to win this game, and so contextually, the GOAT, adios muchachos, this will be his last game as a Tampa Bay Buck. I've got Brady at 9.
That could be, just in terms of all the opinions all over the board, that could be the most interesting game of them all, and it's the last one on Monday night, Tampa Bay and Dallas. That one's going to be fascinating. All right, that moves us to number 8 on the board, and that is where I will place one Kirk Cousins. Now, he has fantastic weaponry, okay, and I got to give him a nod here somewhere in that you got to be good to come back from 33 points. I don't care who you are. I don't care what the opponent is. Obviously, that's a high-powered offense, and he's an experienced guy. He's been in the playoffs a whole lot, but he usually loses when he gets there, and that's why you're sitting all the way down at number 8. You've been to the playoffs, it feels like, all the time, and you've won a total of one game in the playoffs. So Kirk Cousins and his primetime playoff performance is what has him, for me, a little bit down the board at number 8.
Speaking of one playoff win, my guy at number 8 is Dak Prescott, who also has the one playoff win. And I've got him at number 8 because I do think the Cowboys win, but then the Cowboys will get knocked out in their next game at Levi's Stadium. And also the Cowboys are going to be fueled by the great 1-2 punch in the backfield. Dak Prescott is serviceable. He's fine. I like the under in Monday night's game. 45.5 is where it sits. I don't think that either of these quarterbacks lights it up, so I'm putting Dak in the 8 spot.
All right, quarterback contextual power rankings as we go from 14 to 1, and we're really trying to get to the answer of where do you put Brock Purdy?
Where?
And the reason we do the word contextual here is we're adding in all that we know now. This is not a career resume. This is, are you healthy? Are you at home? What's your team? What's your coach? And we have arrived at number 7, and this is where I want everybody to get out your keyboards and get ready to use the letters Homer. Get ready to use them because my number 7 is going to be Jalen Hurts.
Oh, my God.
I don't care that he was going to be the MVP potentially. He's hurt.
Homie.
He is Hurts. He is not himself, and therefore I'm going to place this 7th performer as like 70% Jalen Hurts because I think that's what we're going to get in these playoffs. I think the Eagles right now are already planning on hosting January 29th, and I don't know for sure if they're going to even get there. They may have a very difficult road in that first game. We'll see. It's likely to be a division opponent. Could be Giants, could be Cowboys. Jalen Hurts for me, believe it or not, I'm sticking at number 7.
That's pretty low. It's lower than I will have him because at 7, I've got, Kirk Cousins comes in at number 7 for me. It's going to be a win for the Vikings in this opener, and if they end up being the team that comes to Levi's Stadium, I don't like his chances against this Niner defense, so it's contextual in terms of how far these quarterbacks will go. I do think Minnesota lights up the Giants. They're favored by 3 at home, but after that, I don't think Kirk Cousins goes very deep in these NFC playoffs. I've got Cousins at 7.
All right, on to number 6, and you'll notice nobody has said anything that rhymes with Stock Birdie. Not yet. Number 6.
Clock is dirty.
Oh, my.
Number 6.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy. This is where I'm putting Brock Purdy. This is the NFC Offensive Rookie of the Month. This is the highest-rated quarterback in the NFL over the last 6 weeks. There's context here. I'm not ready to put him in a Mahomes, Allen, Burrow conversation by any stretch. But he's got home field except for one opponent. I think he's got the best coach. I know he's got the best teammate. And he absolutely is. He's on fire. He's clicking and he's clocking. He's doing everything. He's brocking. This is where I'm sticking Brock Purdy when I add in all the context of these playoffs. Number 6.
Yeah, I'm not ready to pull my Brock out. Spadoni, music, please. Thank you. I had to let that one stand alone. At number 6, I'm going to Justin Herbert. I haven't used Justin Herbert yet, and I do think they win in Jacksonville. But for the Chargers to go all the way to the Super Bowl, it would have to be road. 3 road victories for Justin Herbert, which is why I put him at 6. They're going to beat Jacksonville, but then they might be in some trouble. I got Herbert at 6.
All right, top 5 we can actually start to roll through pretty quick, except for that you still haven't used your Brock. which is
I'll pull it
interesting. For me, I'll put Justin Herbert at number 5. He should be higher, but that's kind of the way we feel about the Chargers. Like, I don't know why this arm talent is not translating at a higher level, so I'm going to put Justin Herbert at number 5.
I'm going to rock out with my Brock out at number 5. It is contextual, and I do think that the offense around him is more important than he is, but he's going to go deep. So Brock Purdy, for me, and to think about it, third-string quarterback, last player taken in the draft, is number 5 in my playoff power rankings. Pretty impressive, kid. You can take that with you. I got you at number 5.
I want to do a bet with you.
Bet?
I'll take the over in Monday night's football game.
Over 45.5?
I'll take the over because I see something different in Tom Brady the last month. If you've noticed, he's
you got Brady at 5?
I got Brady at 4. I got Tom Brady ahead of Justin Herbert at number 4.
Yeah.
Let's move to number 4, and I'll say Tom Brady still shows that moxie when it's 2 minutes to go.
Box of donuts?
Down by 6, absolutely.
Box of donuts.
Box of donuts. Tom Brady, I know that he has not been as dynamic, but there's something different going on in him, and I still think he's not going out like that. I still think Tom Brady's got something for these playoffs, and so he's my number 4.
I got Hurts at 4 off a bye, hoping that he gets healthy, and his two-way dynamic threat and the fact that they've got home field throughout. Philadelphia is a team that, even though they've lost 2 of their last 3, I believe that offense can click again. If Hurts is at all healthy, he is an unbelievable threat. He's going to be the MVP in the National Football League. I got Hurts at 4.
All right. I think top 3, we've both left the same 3. And
Burrow, Allen, Mahomes.
Burrow, Allen, Mahomes, right? I mean, that's
in that order?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1?
Burrow's 3, Allen's 2. Mahomes is the MVP of the National Football League and has a bye.
Yeah, Hurts might get the MVP. He might steal it, even though he missed some games.
I think he lost it with the injury.
He might have, but I've got Mahomes at number 1 over Allen because I think that he's going to beat Buffalo on that neutral field, in that neutral field game.